So, as an example, if we take Albert Einstein, he was married, he had children, he had different positions, he was working different places, he was eating food, he was doing different things. But one vritti, one part of his mind, this internal desire for physics was always active. I would even say that it was active 24 hours a day. Now, does that mean that he is constantly thinking of physics? No, it's not like that. He is consciously thinking of physics at times. Sometimes he has to consciously think of something else. He has to. He had other desires, other things. He had so much going on in his life. But even while all of that other worldly activity is going on, still one vritti is in physics all the time. It's inside the mind. It's in the subconscious mind. It's naturally present there always because of the love for that. So it doesn't even require a continuous conscious thinking all the time. It's not that forced continuous thinking. That kind of thing is when we're deliberately doing sadhana. Okay, I want to do 1,000 times Namah Shivaya mantra. I want to do 10,000 times Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. That's a conscious, deliberate sadhana that helps to evolve the energies of the mind. But when the sadhana stops, the vritti, the love and the fascination and the attachment remains with that particular subject of interest, or in this case, the form of God, because one recognizes that is the highest of all. There's nothing more than that. That's what we just read right now. So even though there is not always a deliberate attempt to do that, but one is naturally going to dive into that love of your life when the mind is no longer consciously active in other things. It will naturally dive into that natural diving into the swarupa of the Ishtadevata is vairagya. So one is with the family, you have pets, you have husband, you have medical practice, you have this angel wing program, you have this program, everything is there. Just great saints also, they have so many temples, they have scriptures, they have things that they're doing, they're writing, they're reading, they're exercising, they're doing whatever they're doing. Great doctors are doing that, great physicians are doing it, great social reformers are doing whatever the manifestation is. But with that, the connection towards Paramatma, that is not lost. Because of Mahima, glory, Mahatmya. Like in Einstein's case, it was a newness, constant probing, constant thinking. How can I go further? You see? So as far as spiritual sadhana goes, the sadhaka who recognizes that Bhagwan is Param Chintamani has everything, the sukha is there. The attempt is to hold the Brahma Vidya, hold the ideas of the Satsanga within, and to establish that connection. Because when you do that, we recognize how much connection we have with the world outside. We see all that. So when that connection gets more and more established, the anubhuti comes. The anubhav that Maharaj is just talking about. What is the jivatma? You begin to experience the Atma Tattva. You begin to see all of that. So those are spiritual realities that open. But yes, definitely. But you see what the breakage, that's where we'll talk about it tomorrow. The question of Maya. Maya is that which breaks this. That connection that is broken is Maya. That is how you can recognize Maya. So if Sachin is wanting to have Akhanda Vritti can happen naturally. The more Mahima, I said, no, I have to be so convinced that Ananda is in God, Bhagwan mein hi Ananda hai. And everything else is just a little bits and pieces only. Okay, it's there. Not to run after those things. So that's one way that the vritti remains akhanda. And then see, when Maharaj is saying that Jeev, Ishwar, Maya, Brahm, Parabrahm, this opens, that is the breakage out of the three gunas of Maya. Jagrat, Sapna, Shushupti. You're in the waking state. Even though you're experiencing the waking state, it is not pulling you in the waking state. So for example, if I'm driving a car and I see a homeless individual on the street, I will have karuna. So seeing that person, if I am in akhanda vritti, I will first see Paramatma there. That, oh, that God is now taken this form, is standing in front of me this way. That is the highest of vision. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamani pashyati. That is a state of realization. Okay, now, at the same time, as a duty, as a karuna, at the relative level, I'm aware of that also. Give some money or wish something good for that person. Relatively, the person is in that situation. From the absolute point of view, there's nothing but Paramatma. You're in the oceanic consciousness of that divinity. So when you're inside the oceanic consciousness, there is only Ishavasya Midam Sarvam. Everywhere Paramatma is present, right? So practically, there's karuna, there is the right kind of action, there is no bringing inside the mind the difficulty of that person. Not at all. Because if you bring that difficulty out of attachment for that pain, suffering, which we tend to do, if you bring it inside, that will break the vritti with Paramatma. You see, so be aware to know that pain, suffering, in fact, take one's vritti and place it towards that individual for the well-wishing, for their upliftment, and move on. And do whatever the duty is, do the duty and move on.
That have come because it used to be like that before. When you used to treat people, and that's why it hopped from one to the other, and it happened. And realize that it is not my job to do that. They have to work it out themselves.
Exactly.
Going through. So my work is again to work on myself and build my connection.
Definitely, it's in that connection, we are still interacting with everything. It's not like see that connection can happen wherever you are, even if you're doing some complex activity. Like let's say there's a surgeon who's doing a surgery. Now, how is that person supposed to have akhanda vritti? How is that? No, they have to focus on that surgery. So the way they have akhanda vritti, it is called nishta rupi akhanda vritti. Nishta means that before the operation, some prayer is done. I'm offering this to you, Lord. May this activity please you. And so there's no ego involved. So the activity is performed beautifully. Clearly, the attention is there. Once it is done, the person then again remembers God, does the duty again. But the mind doesn't go into things like, well, you know what? Okay, if I do a couple more of these procedures, I'm going to make another $20,000-$30,000. Wow, I'm going to have a lot of fun from that. If that thought comes, that thought breaks the akhanda vritti. Even if it comes and goes, it is broken the vritti. You see, so because now that is part of
the intention of having the vritti, wouldn't it transcend it? Because obviously you won't get rid of these thoughts and
no. So that vritti, the more vritti you have towards Paramatma, that you're right, that will automatically get rid of this other. It will not even come inside the mind. Usko sthiti kehte hai. But if it does come into the mind, that means that the vritti is not that solidly established. That is a difference. See, like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, as an example, his vritti is established towards Mahakali completely, and he is not distracted by anything on the material side. Right? We know this is the case, obviously. Why is that? Because of his intense conviction that the Mother Goddess is right in front of him. And she is alive for him. She's living for him. She's the manifested Brahman for him. Manifested divinity for him. So and he's having spiritual anubhav, because once you've tasted, like what Maharaj is saying, the Jeev, Ishwar, Maya, once you get a taste of that, you see, oh my God, this is the real joy. These other things are nothing but just, tiny little things. I said, I cannot be lost in these worldly things. These are too small. This is the whole point, that to be attracted in this material world then becomes it's not even possible for that individual, because there's drinking from that Paramahansa state. You see, so that is a stage of development. But as long as one is in the sadhana stage, one is doing, it's called sadhan dasha. So keep this in mind. We are all in sadhan dasha at some level. Sadhan dasha and siddha dasha. So sadhan dasha, this vritti will come and go. It will break. It will break again. It will keep breaking at some point. Something will break it somewhere. So when we recognize that it's broken, deliberately reestablish. The moment you detect it's broken, this thought came. The example I gave you. I mean, just as an example, of a surgeon who's a top-notch surgeon, and then starts thinking about the money and finance, or maybe thinking about wealth and name and something other than that, and is a great devotee. Let's say he's a great bhakta. There are so many like that. But something comes in between. He said, "Oh my God!" It's like a shock. You see, the true devotee sees, "Oh my God, where did this thing come from?" No. I that is not who I am. This vritti is not who I am. Immediately, that vritti is connected with Bhagwan, and Pratna said, "Oh Lord, please bless me to keep my mind in you." In my own life, I had to do that, and we do that all the time. My prayer every day to God is that you just keep me with you. Whatever else you want to do with me is up to you. That is wo aapki ichha. But this who wants to lose the greatest thing in life? That is the connection with Paramatma. If that is lost, it's this analogy of the Chintamani. In Swamini Vatu, this is written also. If you're holding that Chintamani and you have lost all your wealth, you have not lost anything. You have to just wish, and it's right in front of you. But if you have all kinds of wealth and you lose that Chintamani, you've lost everything. It's like that.
That's what I'm saying. You have to keep establishing people
again and again. Yes, naturally.
You just lose the connection.
That establishing that connection is the mastery. So you automatically gain mastery of the mind, and are able to connect it with God, with Bhagwan, where there is ananda. That is the source of joy. You see, so that connection with the Paramatma is what, by the krupa, by the grace of Paramatma, all of this opens up, and the bhakta becomes a mukta. So there are 3 stages. There is from Manushya, human level, to a sadhak level. From sadhak level to a bhakta level. From a bhakta level to a mukta level. And the liberated being then is not stuck anywhere. Is living continuously in joy. Akhanda ananda, divya ananda, wo sthiti hai. So that is called siddha dasha. Siddha dasha means state of siddha. The siddha mastery is there. It comes naturally. Gnan, vairagya, yogic mastery, all these things, siddhis. In Vedas, this is described further, that you will see that all the siddhis come. But Maharaj said you have to put them all aside. Also, the yogis, as they go further in akhanda vritti, so many things come along that way, because the mind is now getting unclutched from the sansara. The sansara is there. We see the sansara as a child's play. Chokrani ramat. It is called in Swamini Vata. And all other sages, you will see, Ramakrishna Paramans has said this, Paramans Yogananda has said this, Sai Baba has said this. All sages, even in the Bible, it is written in certain ways. Guru Nanak has said this, that this is a child's play, this sansar. Right? So you see it that way. You see the back and forth, the play of the 3 gunas of Maya. You see it. You can interact functionally as needed, and with the good wishes for all, one has a destination. Dheyo narayano harihi alodya sarvashastrani vicharya cha puna puna idam ekam sunishpannam dheyo narayano harihi. That the dheya, the goal is Bhagwan Narayan, is God, Paramatma. Then otherwise other goals are there, they come and go. The other goals, somebody can be very far off in the material world. So what? What is the big deal in that? The body is going to be turned to ash one day. It's not going to come with us. Nothing is actually ours. That is vairagya. The fact that the body can go anytime, that is called anusandhan. In Garada Antya number 30, the last section of the Vachanamrut, Maharaj himself maintained 5 types of awareness, constant awareness, called anusandhan. And the first one is, at any point this body can go. My God, that's a meditation. You are maintaining that awareness that this can all just disappear. Kaun hamara hai? Kis vastu hamari hai? Nothing. That's called, Maharaj himself said, because of that anusandhan, I have continuous vairagya. Vairagya comes right away when we realize that at any point the body can go. Look at what happened to me just 2 weeks ago, right? The chest pain came and all this thing. Whatever, by the grace of God and all the medical people, they were able to fix the problem. So people die within 2-3 minutes of a heart attack. They can be gone in 5 days. They don't get the proper help. Even if they get the help, the body is going to go. And the body is going to go anyway. If not now, then it's going to go later. So it's going to happen. This is called Anusandhan. For the 5 Anusandhan that are there, the first one that Sriji Maharaj mentioned, for himself he mentioned, and then as a guide for all of us, that maintain Anusandhan is constant awareness that the body can go anytime. Because of that, this is what J. Krishnamurti mentioned as vitality of death. The same concept is there. So Vairagya is in front of us. Does that mean one is going into the mountains and into the forest and leaving the family? And that is not Vairagya. There's no definition of Vairagya like that. One is liberated living with the family, with love and affection for all. But one is living with that akhanda vritti, with that continuous connection. यही बात है चेतना जी, और क्या है इसमें क्या?